Hey, White Sox fans, Brett Ballantini here, hosting a Southside Sox podcast. Once again, we're doing a little bit of time travel on this one. This is podcast number 34. We are going into the future because this one is running later in the week. I'm talking with Colleen Sullivan, the mistress of the Know Your Enemy articles last year, and it looks like she's rolling out probably every one of them this year, although I think at some point she is going to just ask for a tag out and a break. I would not blame her after the 12th Royals preview that she says, okay, please, can we just run a blank page?
I'm never not going to make fun of the Royals, so I'm not giving those up.
Okay, that's fair.
I will never pass up an opportunity to shit on the Royals. Let's be clear about this.
All right, yes, that was the wrong team to bring up, I admit. But yes, did yeoman work last year with the mini season, I guess, because boy, some of those series previews came fast and furious, and I don't think you missed a one, Colleen. And this year proves to be maybe a little bit more normal pace, but boy, a bigger pile to get through. So, again, you probably have a couple tag outs if you need them. Don't worry, just put those in your back pocket. But at any rate, what we're talking about here is what Colleen has done differently, not just series preview, although she has done an Angels series preview as well. This is a entire league, what happened in the off season, general cracks about all of them, maybe a couple compliments, unlikely. You're gonna have to dig real hard for those, but we're running those two articles, breaking them into two because hey, it's 29 other teams, and that's a row to hoe. So two different pieces, and we're going to address those a little bit here. Colleen, first, let's talk about the only team that really matters, number one in our hearts and number one on your list, if you were actually two of them, if they were enemies, and that's the White Sox. How are you feeling with opening down the field? Now, listen, we don't know yet about the 15-0 opening day drubbing that the White Sox dealt to the Angels, the Lucas Giolito complete game two hitter. We're just looking back at that now when this is running. So we don't know any of that's happening yet. But going into opening day, because we don't know what happened, how are you feeling about the team?
You know what? I'm actually really optimistic about this team. I know a lot of people had a major freak out about Eloy getting hurt, which can they just wrap him in bubble wrap, give him one of those child leashes and tether him to the wall and say, you can only work in this subsection of area and that is it. But and I don't use spring training as a great metric on how many games I think teams are going to win, just because it's spring training. Players are shuffling in and out, pitchers are shuffling in and out. They're determining who's going to be on the roster, who's getting dropped down, all of that good stuff. But collectively, I'm very optimistic about the team this year. We might actually get to see Andrew Vaughn.
Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe.
Colleen, speaking of bubble wrap, yeah, we might get to see him playing his first game past Little League in left field. Yeah, it wouldn't be the White Sox if we couldn't have that optimism just cut a little bit by the fact that a guy who has, well, anyway, he's done well, I guess. Well, he hasn't done poorly in 2 games out there so far. Apparently, he's listening to when the manager and the general manager and the owner and the fans and social media says, please don't try to cover anything to your left. Luis wants to take all those fly balls anyway. Just stand still. I know it goes against a player. Andrew Vaughn seems to be like, okay. So I'm not really sure why Eloy keeps fighting this, and I certainly don't know why he is trying to steal away home run balls in spring training. I'm not sure if that really speaks to competitive instinct as much as it speaks to something else, but
my feeling about Eloy I never say his name, has always been he does not have good spatial awareness. He's not aware of the walls in the outfield. He is not aware of where he's standing in the outfield. And that is really evident when you watch him play, right? You can see he doesn't know where he is. He's not aware of how far away the wall is from me.
Well, and Colleen,
when you're in an away game, that's understandable, right?
Yeah.
on your home fucking field, man.
Here's the problem.
You have to know where the wall is.
He's doing it in a way that's not like, I mean, we've seen outfielders like think they're at the wall already. It's hilarious because they're like waving, they're like doing synchronized swimming or something. That's the way that's like, okay, that's still silly and people will laugh at that, but you're not having a concussion. Eloy has got this spatial awareness that is extremely, he's got like a CTA football player's spatial awareness because he kills the wall. He jumps into the net. He's laughing, but he's turning around in the net. He can't get out of the net. I mean, he's not messing around with his lack of, I guess, awareness. And
he is running into the wall confidently, like he's the Kool-Aid man. And like, no, you're not going to burst through the wall. Just stick your arm out and stop a little bit. His spatial awareness actually reminds me of my cat, who has the idea that if he can't see my dog, then the dog can't see him, which is not actually true, and leads to some scuffles. And that's what his spatial awareness reminds me of. It very much reminds me of my cat saying, like, you can't see me, I can't see, or I can't see you, you can't see me. Like,
And listen, obviously we're having this extended discussion because of the deep pain we're feeling not having Eloy, maybe for the whole season, or maybe the optimistic prognosis is, okay, he just maybe only misses 2/3 of the season. Wonderful. So we're just obviously struggling to deal with that. But I will admit, Colleen, I thought the big baby was like a cute, sort of hilarious nickname. I didn't think would be literally the way he plays the outfield. And, silly me.
I didn't realize
should have known
it was
better.
like a serious thing. I was like, oh, that's kind of a dumb nickname that baseball players give each other.
Yeah, I didn't realize that actually came off of the scouting report. I thought it was like, childhood thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Eloy aside, optimism abounds, as evidenced by the article earlier in the week, which had, I believe, 14 to 15 Southside Sox writers picking the White Sox for the playoffs, and everybody giving them a pretty good win total. Nobody even really close to 500. That's optimistic and legit. So let's look at the rest of the league, all the other pathetic loser teams out there who are not going to finish ahead of the White Sox. There's 29 of them. There's a lot to get to. So we're not going to hit all of them, but I'm going to set this one up on a tee for you and allow you to talk about the team second in your hearts and awfully confusing in years past, perhaps still so, but tell me a little about the New York Mets.
So Mets fans are now recovering from the Wilpon era, right? Because Steve Cohen came in, bought the team in November, and the fact a lot of people don't like when owners are fans of the team. I am not one of those people. I think it is important that an owner actually like the team, enjoy the team, watch the team, and not so much treat it as an investment and just like, this is something that I have, and you see it a lot with Rocky Wirtz, right? He was one before he became before he took over the team from his terrible father. He was one who would sit in the stands, watch the team, all of that stuff. So that's something I like about Steve Cohen. And he really came in, threw money in the air like he's Monty Burns and was like, I'm going to spend money on this team. I want my team to be good. So, he brings in Francisco Lindor, he brings in Carrasco, and the Jared Porter stuff and the Mickey Callaway stuff aside, he's given lip service to wanting to change the culture of their front office. It's one of those things that time's gonna really be the one that tells us how that goes, right? We don't know if there is an actual cultural shift going on in the Mets. I would like to be optimistic and hope that there is, but there's still that. Going into 2021, Syndergaard's going to be coming back off of his Tommy John surgery. So with a potential bullpen of Syndergaard, DeGrom, Marcus Stroman, Carlos Carrasco, who is a little hurt right now, but he's not expected to be out for very long. They're looking at a really good quality bullpen. And I think the injection of Francisco Lindor into any team has nothing but good benefits. It is a shame that Cleveland let him go. It is. I'm not sad for the White Sox because I don't have to see him as often. I'm very happy as a Mets fan that they have him. But I think just the injection of his energy and his positivity and the quality of play that he brings to the table is going to have a larger ripple effect on the rest of the Mets. And then they still have Pete Alonso, who his 2020, not all that great, but a lot of players saw that. And, JD Davis and Jeff McNeil, like they have a really good core of players. And I think the Mets are going to be in a pretty decent spot to compete this year. I'm not expecting them to win the division. The NL East is a tough division. It's got the Braves. It's got Miami, who did phenomenal last year.
Mm-hmm.
If the Nationals decide that they want to turn it around,
Yeah.
back to the quality of 2019, the NL East is a very tough division, but I think the Mets are going to be coming to compete. I think we should see them at least probably second or third finishing.
Do you think, obviously, a swell of pride and excitement in the organization for trading for Francisco Lindor? Is there a step back if it turns out the Mets are not able to retain him? You make a deal like that under the premise that you're at least going to go hard after keeping the guy out of free agency. And I know that's not just the team's control, but that probably will be obviously it's a letdown. Is it a significant letdown, or do you say, hey, the owner went for it, he came in, said he was going to improve the team. He did that maybe just for a season. So no credit, not too much credit taken away.
1-year contracts are tough. They are tough on the player, and I think it gives the player a 1 foot in, 1 foot out mentality when it comes to the team. Like, obviously these guys are competing at a very high level. They want to win, right? They're competitive. That's just in their personality. But having a large 1-year deal, I think that gives you a lower level of commitment to the team. I think it would work very well in Steve Cohen's favor if he's able to lock him up for a significant number of years. And I think it'll go further to healing the fan base, so to speak, after all of the Fred and Jeff Wilpon nonsense. And I think being able to get Lindor, I think, is ultimately going to trump the drama that surrounded Trevor Bauer maybe going to the Mets and ending up on the Dodgers.
Okay, listen, I really thought we might be able to get through this entire podcast without mentioning that guy's name. So let's just pretend you didn't utter those nasty words. But listen, you got to like the fact that, if you're a Mets fan, you got to like the fact that you can say, all right, well, hey, I'm competing with 29 other teams to retain this guy, but he's on your team. So if you play poorly, if culture's bad, well, okay, you blew it. And if maybe all things are equal, maybe he stays with the team now. He knows who's obviously going to value him monetarily, and I'm sure in terms of clubhouse leadership and so forth. So that's a pretty good catbird seat to be in for a guy who is a prime talent.
Oh yeah, I think they're going to be able to work out a deal. I'm like 97% sure they're going to be able to work something out.
Oh man, book it. That is getting tweeted. Okay, listen, before we take a break, let's get to a couple teams that we have to get to. And, again, I've already given you, before this program began, I gave you a few passes, so you're welcome to use them. But we do have to acknowledge teams, I think, that are going into the season maybe as consensus favorites, strongest in their leagues. Let's start with the Dodgers. I know it's boring, but listen, there's one clear team that seems to have the best balance and the best strength, top to bottom, depth that makes people sick to their stomach, and it's the Los Angeles Dodgers, the defending champions.
Yes. I mean, and the Dodgers really built themselves up. I mean, between the drama that was around the Dodgers when the ownership was getting divorced and when Major League Baseball told them, like, you don't get to have this team anymore. Going from that to winning a World Series and have it not take 50 years is pretty good. I will say, like, that's pretty amazing. And the Dodgers were really poised to become big contenders in the division. It took them longer than you would expect to get a World Series at this point, but they're a fun team. I mean, they're a fun team to watch. It's a fun team to cheer for, outside of big dumb asshole Trevor Bauer. But they have Mookie Betts.
Did it again.
Yeah, everybody loves Mookie Betts. Everybody loves Mookie Betts. Nobody, he's just one of those players. Everybody loves him. Doesn't matter who you cheer for. Mookie Betts is a great player, and they have so much fun talent to watch that this isn't like when the Yankees were dominating,
Yeah.
right? Everybody hated the Yankees.
Yeah.
I mean, they had, like, everyone likes Derek Jeter, like, oh, he's good,
Right.
and then they had A-Rod, and they had all these other players that, like, people genuinely hated.
Mhm.
But I feel like there's, like, a collective swell behind the Dodgers. Like, people are happy that they won and happy that they're doing well. Now, I'm sure that is not true for everybody in the NL West whose teams are in the NL West. But I feel like collectively, as a baseball fan group, a lot of people are very happy for the Dodgers and for their success.
Isn't it cute and quaint how the Dodgers fan base would say things like, oh, it's been since 1988 when we won a World Series, as if generations came and went. Pandemics came and went between their friggin' between rings. Come on.
I can't fault them that much for that, because I feel like Cubs fans cornered the market on being whiny droughters. So
yeah, and they had a legitimate one. It was like 600 years.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like other teams who are like, oh, we haven't won a championship since the 80s. Like, okay, whatever.
I mean, if they're being like ironic, or if they're trying to mock us, okay, I'm not really sure that was the intent.
No, and you know what? The Dodgers are, like, in terms of baseball history, the Dodgers are a good historic team. I can't get mad about stuff like that with them. Like, I think I just like them too much. Like, I like Dave Roberts. I think they're just fun.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be a hardcore San Francisco Giants fan, or maybe a team like the Padres have consistently just got crapped on by the Dodgers and their fan base to really sort of not be happy for them and at least get the win. I'm done with it. I'm still happy to watch some of these guys, but I'm done with them winning anymore. So they can finish in second or third anytime now. I'm past that. But all right, let's flip to another league, and this is going to be an easier answer, I suppose, or at least a less happy answer, because for some reason everybody seems very enamored with the New York Yankees, and okay, I guess maybe by default they're always in the mix, but they seem to be a preseason pennant favorite, and I imagine you might shoot a couple holes in that.
So here's my feeling about the Yankees. Last year they were supposed to do well. The year before that they were supposed to do really well. It's been this consistent, like,
they're the Yankees
every year since the beginning of time, going into the season. Oh, the Yankees are going to win the AL East. They're going to win the World Series. They're going to dominate. They're going to be so good. And then, like, turns out Aaron Judge is made of peanut brittle, and Gary Sanchez wasn't all that great, and Giancarlo Stanton didn't live up to expectations, and
they have collectively one pitcher.
Yeah, like, I don't get excited about the Yankees. And it's where I consider the Dodgers a good historic team, the Yankees are also a good historic team.
Yeah.
But the Yankees are the villains of baseball, and I think they enjoy that. I think their fans enjoy that. I think the team enjoys that. Like, Steinbrenner made Johnny Damon cut his hair. I think the Yankees just enjoy kind of being the heel of baseball. I don't think that they're going to win the AL East. I think if everybody stays healthy, yay, I think they'll still be in second place in 2021, but I don't think they're going to come in and dominate.
Colleen, we agree. We do agree on that. And the more we're talking about this, the more I want to go back and be able to edit all my picks for our preseason prediction. Now in my head, I've got the White Sox like 100 wins. So I guess I should have had this conversation with you before I embarrass myself by being the only one on the staff not to pick the White Sox for the playoffs. Okay, we're going to get to some other teams. We're going to get to a very intriguing question about divisions. After the break, we're going to take a really quick one on the podcast, listen to a very important single message. And if you're watching us on video, gosh, congratulations, because you are one of a small group. But if you're watching on video, just take a real quick nap. We'll be right back. Hey, White Sox fans, we're back. It's podcast. It's a travel time podcast. Southside Sox podcast number 34, if I'm counting correctly. We are talking with Colleen Sullivan, who is our Know Your Enemy writer. She did last year for us at Sports Illustrated as part of the Southside Hit Pen Collective, TM. And we are going to be rolling out Tons of Know Your Enemy content all season long. Every series coming up, even if it's a repeat team, we're going to have a preview for you, laying out pitching matchups, laying out maybe trends with the team, laying out how badly the White Sox trashed that team, in the previous series or all season long. All sorts of good stuff that's going to make you psyched to watch the 3-4 game series that will be coming up. And that's going to be rolling out. In fact, I got news for you again, time travel. It's already rolled out. But let's jump into some more teams, but let's collectively talk about teams. And give me your pick, Colleen, for the crappiest division in baseball.
Oh, God.
I mean, it's really got to be a Central or a Central, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, the NL Central is, like, I'm sorry to our fellow Southside Sox writers who are Brewers fans, like, the NL Central is kind of garbage, but you know what? I'm going to pick the AL East, which is not going to be a popular response.
Wow.
For the simple fact that Tampa Bay dominated last year in the AL East. Toronto did surprisingly well in the AL East. And then Boston, who won the 2018 World Series the same year that Baltimore had 108 losses, tied for last place. And I think it's safe to say that that is a pretty crappy division.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna go with that.
All right.
I feel like that's not gonna be the popular choice, but we're gonna say the AL East. And also because the Yankees suck and everybody hates them.
Well, all right. Yes. I mean, in terms of teams easiest to dislike, yeah, I think the AL East is definitely in the running. Yeah, I'm not really sure how the Central, who legitimately could have a team go 500 and come real close to winning the division, can be anything but the obvious choice. And that's even compared to the AL Central, which is nothing to shout about, although I do think AL Central will be better this year. All right, let's talk about some other things. Hey, give me a team in the AL Central you want to talk about.
I mean, I could always make fun of the Royals. We know that much. Minnesota continues to bum me out. I think they're going to go for the 20-year or 20 postseason streak of losses. They had I feel like the Twins had kind of a weird offseason. There wasn't a lot of like big exciting signings. Like they re-signed Nelson Cruz. They let some of their pitching walk away. I was very surprised that Jake Odorizzi was gone. But yeah, the Twins, I feel like there's not going to be too much excitement out of them. I feel like they kind of like in a season where everyone gold starred their way into the playoffs, they still somehow managed to do it themselves. And considering what a race to the top it was last year in the shortened season, I don't think the extended season is going to work in Minnesota's favor this year. And I know that, everyone's favorite Picada projects them so high. I don't think they're gonna go very well.
I like how you're mocking Pacoda and calling it Picada. That's a nice play there. Yeah, it did seem like they sort of decided, okay, we're just going to let the market come to us. So we're going to, okay, yeah, sure, we'll sign Alex Colomé. Okay. By the way, I think Andrelton Simmons is a terrific sign. But okay, they got, I believe something was circulated where they have the two most likely guys that get hurt in a significant time in Simmons and Buxton. So that's not exactly confidence inspiring. I still do think they probably have the edge on the White Sox, but it's going to be a great fight. I mean, the AL Central is going to be, I think, a tighter division. I don't think even the Royals, forgive me, and the Tigers are going to be the also-rans. I mean, even if that means they win 3 games against the Sox this year, that's better than what they were doing. I think they've stepped their game up a little bit, and Cleveland I don't think falls off the map either. So in my eyes, I think it's a pretty decently bunched division. Perhaps you think the White Sox are going to run away with it, but
so I don't think the White Sox are going to run away with it because Cleveland is really good at managing to build decent teams and then sell off the pieces.
Right.
I don't think they've gone full rebuild yet,
No.
But I also don't think they're going to be competing very high. And the Royals are still going to be the also ran. And I can confidently say that based on the fact that they've mostly kept the band together. They added Andrew Benintendi, who I feel like is just being punished.
He gets to see those pretty fountains, though.
Oh, yay. the one nice thing in Kansas City. It's pretty fountains. He can go to the Negro Baseball
That's
Museum.
true. That's true. And the Jazz Museum. That's a nice 2-pack there on 18th and Vine. Yeah, I saw on our sister site, I saw the headline from, what's it called? Royals Review, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Kansas City Royals site. The headline was something to the effect of, it's year 4 of the rebuild. It's time to start winning. And I thought, geez, if it was just so easy, Royals, okay, then start winning. But I'm not, you sort of got to drag the rest of you got to drag the roster to that. But hey, see, look, I can trash talk the Royals too.
Yeah.
See, we're on the same team.
See, here's the thing though, when you keep most of the team together, add 2 like middle of the road players, and you continue to have baseball's C-list Batman villain as your manager, then no, you're going to be an also ran. You're not competing on the same level as Cleveland. You're not competing on the same level as the Twins.
You're in the wrong central. You need to be in the other central. Then maybe you got a shot.
You might beat the Reds.
Right.
And the Cardinals still did better than they did, and they played 55 games in 43 days and almost killed the entire team with COVID.
Yeah, it was a sprint.
Yeah, they could the Royals couldn't even gold star their way into the playoffs where it felt like everybody was in.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. All right, let's flip to the National League again. Let's talk about another popular team and a team that a lot of people are picking as the second best, even though they're in the same division as the Los Angeles Dodgers, and that is the team that White Sox fans love to rationally and irrationally hate, San Diego Padres. How do you see their season wrangling out, and how frustrating is it for them to have to look up, maybe even knocking on the door of 100 wins or 95 wins and realize, oh, wait, there's still a team in front of us?
I'm happy for the Padres. I am, because they have such a fun young team to watch, and you love a good young team. You love players with personalities. Fernando Tatis Jr., he's fun to watch, and I'm not gonna bad trades are part of baseball. Of course, James Shields sucked, and Fernando Tatis Jr. turned out to be great, and San Diego won the trade. Okay.
Yeah.
But I think all of the stuff last year with Slam Diego and with the Padres doing as well as they did, even with the truncated season and, participation trophying into the playoffs as everybody was able to, except for 3 games.
Right.
They're a fun team. They are a fun team to watch. I think the signing of Yu Darvish was kind of strange. And bringing over Victor Caratini because, he's Darvish's personal catcher, basically. Right. I'm not wild about those off-season moves, but I think overall San Diego isn't going to be another team that's fun to watch.
I mean, you're curious about Yu Darvish, Brett Ballantini's predicted NL Cy Young Award winner, Colleen? Okay, well.
I'm curious about the logic behind that.
The logic is get all the pitchers because one of them is going to be out all year, so let's get 6 others who can be in rotation. Yeah, them and the Dodgers seem to be following the same strategy. They both have it seems like 7 starting pitchers. Yep. So David Price is in the bullpen. Yeah, so I mean, I guess you if you can't beat them, you got to try to join them, and they're joining them by spending, being aggressive, having a ridiculously deep organization, so you can make all these prospect trades, and then it's still okay, the smoke clears, and you're still whatever, the 5th best system in baseball,
right?
If only, so.
Having that deep of a team is incredibly important, especially as we go back to having the longer season.
Yeah.
Because I think we're going to see a lot of injuries. I think we're going to see a lot more of the injuries than we did during the shorter season, where everybody had to ramp up and stop and ramp up again. I think just having the extension of the games, having that depth is going to be very important.
And Colleen, we're humans and we're Americans, so now everybody's like, oh yeah, let's go strip our shirts off and go to ball games and go belly to belly with. We've already got now a COVID scare with 5 Nationals are going to miss opening day because of a test. And so, I mean, it's not in the rearview mirror. I mean, let's hope, knock on wood, that there isn't a Cardinal situation or a Marlins situation again, but it could very easily happen. It could be happening right now with the Nationals. The season hasn't even started yet.
Well, and I like that, the NBA philosophy, let's have a bubble. The NCAA, let's have a bubble. The NFL, let's have a bubble. Major League Baseball, what if we kill Harlan? Let's not do a bubble. Let's just kill off one of the teams. It'll be fine. There's too many of them anyway. What?
Yeah.
Let's not do that.
Yeah. Yeah, they pulled off a bubble in Orlando. They pulled off a bubble in Florida, for God's sake. So apparently it's possible. I mean, it's no fun for, I don't know, fans of the Milwaukee Brewers or the Chicago White Sox, but also your players are alive.
Yeah.
Seems like a deal we can make, but.
Didn't try and off the whole team, but, whatever.
Okay.
You know what? The Marlins still came back and did a great job last year, even though Rob Manfred tried to have them off. So it worked out for them.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy how, like, near death or fear or strip club embarrassment can really bind a team together and make them really make all that playoff push that gets them into the expanded more than half the team's playoffs. Way to go, Marlins. Way to go, Cardinals.
Every good sports movie shows that you need to have that one thing that rallies everybody together. Like in Major League, it was that they were going to sell the team. In Bull Durham, it's that, they sucked.
Yeah.
So I guess you need that one thing to get everybody together, to get them all on the same page and excited to win. And I guess COVID was that thing. And
those singles and fives, they burn a hole in young players' pockets. And you got to put them somewhere. You got to do something with them.
Yep.
1 + 1 + 1 + 1 equals strip club during a pandemic. All right. Okay. I think we've addressed the Marlins. So let's move on to another team. Let's stick in the National League because why not? Let's talk about our favorite team, my favorite team, the Ivy Bumblers. Let's talk about how the Cubs are shaping up because Piccata or Piccadilly.
It's like a food.
Said they actually were projecting them to have a better record than the White Sox, which that alone would make you want to trash Piccata. But listen, I understand it's just like a projection. It's a numerical model, whatever. But that said, the division sucks. So obviously just by them being alive and being able to field 26 guys per game gives them a shot for the division. Yet there's still talk of sell-off. They can't come to terms with Anthony Rizzo, who is like a folk hero there because he maims catchers and smiles or whatever. It seems like a decent
Anthony
dude.
Rizzo so much. I hate Anthony Rizzo so much, and my mom loves him. He is her.
Ooh.
My mom is a Cubs fan. He is her favorite player. So last year, before the world stopped,
Sure.
My birthday was the week that they were playing the Mets. So I got tickets for that whole week. And one of the days we were right on the first baseline. And I told her that she could cheer for him, but he was going to be able to hear me call him a fat ass. So
it's a fair trade. I mean, to be honest, I've just quickly sized it up and that's a fair trade.
Yeah. I don't believe his oh, shucks, guys, golly gee, good personality stuff when he's sliding dirty, running over catchers, doing all that stuff. Come on. I think he is probably going to stay with the Cubs just because if he doesn't, I think fans will set the stadium on fire.
Yeah. Well, and you wonder too if people are saying, well, this is sort of low ball offer and whatnot, but I don't know that there's a lot of better offers out there for Anthony Rizzo at the wrong side of 30. And I mean, the folksy charm he has on the north side, because let's face it, no offense to your mother, no offense to Mrs. Colleen Sullivan's mom, but come on, they're dupes. I mean, no offense. Come on, they're clowns,
She
again.
knows.
Please. Okay. Oh, wow, as long as she knows. Hey, listen, accepting it's a very important stage in being a Cubs fan. I mean, he's not. I mean, how's he going to snow like the San Diego Padres into giving him, more money than whatever, 15 million, 13 million. So yeah. So all right, this team, you just going to laugh off because you think what if nothing else, maybe midway through the season they're selling off. So even if they are making a run at say they're 500, so they're making a run at division, the brass is still going to be like, okay, Chris Bryant, et cetera.
You know what, Chris Bryant's I don't prefer him. I think, and I don't, it's because he's on the Cubs and ugh. Chris Bryant, for as much as he loves those fans and how much he's loved playing for the Cubs, I really think should throw up 2 middle fingers and go to Cincinnati or something for how those fans just shit on him so badly. Even in his worst seasons where he was playing hurt, he's still putting up good numbers and he's still an all-star. I did a whole because I was trying to figure it out. I'm like, why do Cubs fans hate Chris Bryant so much? And last year I did like a whole Twitter thread of like, well, these were his stats since he was a rookie, and you know, on and on and on and on. And I'm like, I don't get it. Like, you know what? Y'all don't deserve him. Like, just go. Like, if he, you know, pieces out to the Dodgers or San Diego or the Yankees or somewhere else where he's gonna get more money and not treated like crap, good for him.
Yeah, Colleen, he looked real good in left field on the south side. I'll say that much. And what's the deal with
putting people out there?
What's
the dog out there?
What's the deal with? And then you know the comparisons made. I think they also both had down seasons at the same time. Javi Baez. It's like he's like the cutest, cuddliest, most favorite guy, and he sneezes, and they're like, "Oh my God, what a throw he made as he sneezed." And then Chris Bryant's like, "Whoa, lurch or whatever. What's the deal?"
And that's what I don't understand. Like Chris Bryant makes good plays, and he still makes the simple plays, and he makes clean plays, and he's just a regular player playing the game, doing well. Javi Baez, I think in Major League Baseball's rush to attempt to show diversity and how much they enjoy players' personalities, sometimes they pick the shittiest personalities, and they pick the Javi Baez's who take simple plays and make them look hard. Like, you need to watch the tag as you're tagging somebody at second, because guess what? When you're playing the Sox, somebody's going to slide under that tag and you don't have the out that you think you have. Right. And you don't need to like field a grounder and jump in the air and throw it and overthrow it from Anthony Rizzo, who is 7 feet tall. It's, you know, it's like, I think, and fans have been rushing for Major League Baseball, like support players who have fun personalities, let the players have personalities. And I think, you know, the problem here is like, well, what happens if we don't like his personality?
But the no-look tag is so cool, Colleen.
No, it's not.
It's so cool.
Stupid. It is so stupid. You look like an idiot. Stop it. Stop doing it. You are a professional baseball player. You look like a jackass. Stop doing it.
So we can break it down as you will accept a trade that involves Chris Bryant. And if it's Javi Baez, you might have to be a little bit more of a Mets fan for the rest of the year.
If it's Javi Baez, there is going to be somebody in left field. I can't promise it is not somebody buried under left field.
Ooh, that's intriguing. Let's just leave it at that, because that could be a lot of different names. It's not necessarily Baez. That could be a lot of different names. All right, we're winding up here, Colleen, and we, of course, haven't got to all teams. Is there a team that we do need to address that we haven't? There could be an obvious one I just missed, or somebody you're really itching to praise or pile on.
You know, I got to say respect to the Rangers, because they're doing a rebuild.
They are.
And they're openly admitting that they're doing a rebuild. So, you know, good on them. I want the Angels to be better, because like you have Shohei Ohtani and you have Mike Trout and you have Anthony Rendon. Like, just can you be better? Like, don't come in behind the Mariners. The Mariners don't have anybody.
Yeah.
Like, you need to be better than the Mariners.
They're going to be one of those weird teams like the Cubs, where you look back and there's like 8 Hall of Famers in the lineup of like that late 60s Cubs team that blew it because of the black cat or whatever. And, you know, they're going to have like 12 Hall of Famers from that team. They'll be like, well, wait, did they ever even win a playoff game? Everybody's going to be like, wow, that's crazy that they had that many great guys. Albert Pujols was on. Do you remember Albert Pujols was on that team? It's going to be some kind of crazy. I mean, they got to try hard to break that, because every year they seem to be bringing in a major player. And I know that's not enough, but geez, you just think it would fall their way at some point.
Like, with how stacked the team is this year, I'm like, can you at least finish above Seattle? You know, and like teams like Seattle and Colorado. Oh God, Colorado, man.
Yeah.
Oh, God bless the Rockies. They're trying.
Well, I'm going to pull it back to the Rangers for a second and note that it's appropriate. And listen, I can trash them because, you know, I went to school and they were in my backyard, but it's appropriate that they're starting the rebuild, as their new stadium sort of looks like one of them aluminum sheds that are that populate the Texas landscape. That basically is like, is it like a super Home Depot, or is it a ballpark? It's interesting.
Looks like the thing they put on top of Soldier Field when they're like, we're adding more seats.
Yeah. Right, or phase one of New Comiskey, when it really was a UFO until they blew that weird UFO aspect off and said, "Oh yeah, that's right. It's supposed to look like a ballpark, not like Soldier Field renovation." So,
yeah. Oh, I'm so like, and I understand why the Rangers had to get a new stadium. I mean, it is hot. Like the hottest game I've ever been to in my life was in Arlington. It was 107 degrees at 8 o'clock at night.
that is exactly what I was going to say. I went down there with my dad when I first got to school, and old Arlington Stadium, minor league stadium. It's like 8, 9 o'clock, and we're looking at the scoreboard, and it's triple digits, and we're like,
"Yep,
what is? Are you kidding me?" Yeah.
And we almost saw Adrian Beltre's 3,000th hit, but he hit. We went on a Saturday. He hit it on Sunday. I was like, oh, we were so close.
Yeah.
And that state, like that Globe Life Park was gorgeous. And it's a real shame that when they built that stadium that there wasn't a roof on it, because I think it would still be here today. Like that stadium was absolutely gorgeous.
You'd think, but of course, it's a whole nother podcast to discuss the futility of stadiums built just to be torn down because, I don't know, we forgot air conditioning, or we thought we could grow grass in a dome, or whatever. But or our state, like White Sox, our state isn't giving us more money to build a whole new stadium. There's a lot of different plot lines, including ones that indict our very own beloved team, Colleen. But again, entirely separate podcasts. So I guess as we roll the credits here, I appreciate you taking the time, and of course, the promise of endless, somewhere between 600 and 700 Know Your Enemy articles over the course of the season. God bless you for signing on for that. Folks, you're going to be able to read her stuff. She just can't avoid the site because every 3-4 days, she's going to have to put something on there because we got a new series coming up. And she's going to be one penning that.
Site traffic is going to go down.
Oh no,
we are going to lose.
No. Readers, listeners, viewers, you're going to want to tune in to all the Know Your Enemy, she writes, because yes, there are going to be insults. And for the insult comedy alone, I think you're going to need to read these. Plus, hey, there's pitching matchups. You got to know who's pitching, right? So come on. So forget it. Traffic's going up. Traffic is going up. Anyway, these articles are already out on site. We'll be talking again because there's no doubt we're going to check back in on the Mets. We're going to have to check in on the latest Javi Baez no look tag and the whereabouts of Chris Bryant and Eloy Jimenez, and whether one could play the position of the other. I don't know. So.
Well, I do like the White Sox philosophy right now of anyone can play left field. Like, I don't think that that's true. I think like in Little League, the philosophy is anybody can play right field.
Yeah.
Not
because nobody hits the ball to right field. So put the kid who's going to roll it back into the infield, or in the sexist Little League of my day, let's say, put the one girl on the team gets to play right field because, we got to play her, right? Oh man.
Yep.
Progressive.
Horror.
Yeah. So, that's, but then if Andrew Vaughn pulls it off, oh boy, that's going to cut some arbitration cases for all left fielders in the future. Because if they try to make any point of like, hey man, I play left field, the judge is going to be like, what are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's not like when both catchers are hurt and they have to make somebody the catcher like it's Little League.
Yeah, and it's a whole nother podcast to discuss how a team that aspires to the pennant is running at a guy who hasn't played there, if he even did play there in the league, because we know he did not play there in college. I'm guessing he probably did not play there in high school. The wisdom of, and when people push back and tell me, well, there's been 2 injuries, I say, man, I mean, you need to have a minor bus accident for that to be a legitimate reason. And it's got to be more than 2 lines. But we don't still know. I don't know. Maybe I'm out of touch, but we don't even know if Adam Engel is going to be out for long. So this may really be like a token.
I think he's going to be out that long. That's a whole other podcast too. I don't think he's going to be out for very long. Adam Engel is like ridiculously healthy and ridiculously in shape. Like he will be back bouncing around the outfield soon.
That's what was so strange about it. It seemed like nothing happened and he got hurt. And it's like, wait, that's not Adam Engel. That's maybe other guys we know in the major leagues. But how is Adam Engel, who's a truck, going to like do a twist because he threw the ball and suddenly now he's limping off the field? That was weird. But who knows? Maybe he just didn't want to play in Anaheim. Maybe he's got something about that weird waterfall thing, the rocks or whatever. And he's like, not into it. So he'll be back for Seattle. He can feast on some Seattle pitching. That wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, because they definitely don't have anything in Seattle.
Somehow we managed to touch on almost all 30 teams, I think. Here
Wait, let me see. Who have we missed? Who can I also make fun of? Oh, the Nationals. Oh, the Nationals.
Yeah. Coronavirus. Yeah.
So sad. Bless their hearts.
Yeah.
They did not. They're 2020. And they're on the old side. So 2021 may be their last chance to do pretty well before they do have to rebuild. And thanks for Adam Eaton, guys. Really.
Yeah, really. That's the gift that they eventually sent back.
Yeah. Is he like the fruitcake of baseball? Like people just keep trading him around?
Wait, hold on. No. Did I just see you make a face, Colleen, at the I would say the primary offensive addition in the offseason by the White Sox, but really, now that Jonathan LaCroix's gone, the only one. I guess I'm making a face too. Yeah. All right. Well, here's the good news. We're going to get to now talk about Adam Eaton playing poorly or somehow playing well now. We don't have to just grumble at the fact that the fruitcake got sent back to us years later, even less edible than it was in the first place.
It's going to play well. Look, if you have a monkey paw over there, use it to, make some guys healthy, not make Adam Eaton good.
Yeah.
Okay. Use your monkey paw for good.
Yeah. Yeah, get them out, pay the option, and move them out. But hey, we're going to see the season is, well, of course, as we're talking now, the season's already underway. And I think Adam Eaton, opening day, he had 3 hits. So, I mean, listen, what can I say? It was an onslaught, and, 21 hits, Adam Eaton's going to get a couple of them. So, yeah, great game, guys, opening day, and let's just keep it up through that really rough 8 straight games and opening on the road. And, let's come back home and win some games in front of the home select crowd as well. But thanks, Colleen, for joining me here. Let's talk again real soon about how the season's going.
Yep. All right. See you later.